This is the MGTOWinfinium here with another Infinium Out and About. This Infinium Out and About is entitled The Illegitimate Ghost of Your Shameful Past. Now, my brothers, I'm out here again at Woodside Park, which I have done a prior out and about here a few months ago. But again, this is a expansive park. It used to be very small, in a place where you could come and just sit and enjoy the air, enjoy the beautiful scenery, the forest, all that type of thing. Like I can show you some of the forest area that's behind me. And now again, this park is quite expansive. There is a skate ramp which is beyond that hump there. All types of things that you can do. There's a dog walking area on the other side of where this camera is pointed, where you can walk your dog and do whatever you need to do, that type of thing. But my brothers, I want to talk to you about the illegitimate ghosts of your shameful past. And my brothers, those ghosts are the experiences, the things that have happened to you that when you think upon those things, they begin to personally shame you. They begin to make you question your wisdom, your understanding, how naive you were, how easy it was for you to be hoodwinked for that circumstance. All types of things, my brothers. My brothers, I would like to relate to you a circumstance that happened to me early on when I was in my simp days and I was trying to do the simp thing, the good simp thing to do, which was to be married. And what happened to me was this, my brothers. And again, I have related parts of this story before, but this is a little bit more detail as to what happened. But again, what happened to me was this. I got entangled with a Christian chameleon who I thought I dearly loved. And this Christian chameleon happened to be a part of a family which was also Christian. And the parents of the family were co-pastors of this church, and they appeared to be, on face value, very good people. They appeared to be the type of Christian that you would want to have in your life. And as well, their whole family did. The woman that I was intending to marry, she seemed that way. But my brothers, as time went along, this woman, she turned out to be a Christian chameleon from hell. And my brothers, furthermore, not only was she a Christian chameleon, she was a closet single mother. And through all of that, she, as well as her family, hoodwinked me. And they attempted to get me into a situation where I would marry this woman, etc. And I would accept her boy under my fathership. I would be his parent. Now, it gets even worse, my brothers. My best man, who I thought was a Christian brother, he, as I found out in hindsight, knew about this woman I was about to marry. He knew intimately about who she was. Although he claimed that he did not know her, I found out later on that he did know her. And I suspect that there were some things going on between the two of them. I don't know about that, but all I know from what I was told, that he did know her. And so he lied to me. He hoodwinked me. And so there I was, getting prepared to marry this woman. I went out to Zales. I got a diamond ring and put it on her ring and bowed down to her and proposed to her. Would you be in my life? Would you be my woman, whammon? for the rest of my life, who I'd hold to my heart as dear, who would have my back. I did all of that, my brothers. Now, as time went along, I began to suspect and began to look at things and began to see that she was nothing more than a 304. I didn't really know about her being a single mother, a closet single mother, but I had, by the time of this incident, which I'm about to tell you, I had broken off the engagement. And when I did that, even with all of the evil that this woman, her family, my best man, was about to do to me, I got blamed for the engagement being broken off. I got blamed. I got shamed. Not only got shamed by the woman's family, I got shamed by my own family. I was to be at fault. But a few weeks after, there was another single mother at work who knew me and knew of my intent to marry this woman. She did not know at that point that I had broken off the engagement when she did what she did. But she cornered me at work and had me to go to the outside of the building where we worked in and sit at a picnic table where she had a frank discussion with me. And the discussion was this. She began to lay out everything that was being done to me. She made it clear that the fiance, my ex-fiance, was a single mother, that she had a young boy. And in fact, I'll just back up a minute. This woman that did this to me, she would sometimes pop up with this boy and say that this is my nephew or my cousin or something like that. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. But she would pop up with him, and I would have to, like if we went out on a date, I would have to take him and her and go feed him and everything. And I was like, well, I thought we were supposed to have a time alone so we can kind of plan out and do what we need to do. But she would kind of make me do that. He would pop up and then disappear, pop up and then disappear. And what I found out later on was that the women's family, were trading the boy back and forth in the process of trying to hoodwink me. So what would happen when my fiance needed to take the boy, she would convince me that I had to take care of him because of this and that and whatever, and she was under a lot of pressure. And, they just begged her to do it, so he would pop up. And then he would kind of disappear. And so that was when the rest of the family would take the boy and take him out of the picture so I wouldn't suspect what was going on. So getting back to the single mother who cornered me, she sat me down at a picnic table behind the building where we worked in, and she began to lay out what was happening to me. And she laid out that my ex-fiance was a single mother, closet single mother, that she was hoodwinking me. She described the boy who she had to a T. She also told me that my best man knew of this situation, which again, I don't know if that boy was his or not. I don't know. I don't know. But again, my best man knew of this situation. And this single mother, which again, not all single mothers are bad, but nevertheless, I do not recommend marrying a single mother. And she even told me that she would not even marry herself. But getting back to the facts, she outlaid the fact that this boy was the child of this single mother, that she was indeed a single mother. She was a closet single mother. The parents, who were supposed to be Christian pastors, they knew about this situation. They were involved with it. The whole family was involved with it. My best man was involved with it. All of these things had happened to me, my brothers. And this single mother who said that she must do right by me, because I was a good man, she told me quite frankly that I was going to attend your wedding and I was going to stand up and object in your wedding and say what I have told you at this table in that wedding. That's how intent she was in terms of stopping what was happening to me. And my brothers, it was shocking, it was devastating, it was surreal. But this had happened to me. And so, my brothers, the single mother, when she found that I had broken off the relationship, when I had broken off the engagement, she was quite relieved. And she left me with this, that as a good man, you should stay single. And that the majority of the women in the church are 304s and are not worth it. And so, therefore, again, the best thing that you can do is to stay single and enjoy your life. And again, she was quite relieved that I had broken off the engagement. And she also told me again that as a single mother, I would not marry myself. So saying that she would not marry herself. And she said that she had put herself in that predicament and that no man, no good man, deserved the types of things that go on with being a single mother. Now, my brothers, this all occurred in the 1980s, about 1985, 86. And so that is years ago, my brothers. And my brothers, that situation has, up until recent years, haunted me. The stigma, the types of blame that I went through, all the things that had happened to me, that haunted me. That was an illegitimate ghost of my shameful past. And so, my brothers, what I'm trying to say to you, that as a community of men, we all have things in our past that we don't know why we fell into these things, or we do know why we fell into these things, and they kind of beset us with shame and in some cases pain. In certain cases they limit us in terms of moving forward with our lives because it causes a type of magnetic effect upon us where we're in the present, but the magnet of that shame, that event, pulls us back. It pulls us back in time, and it causes us to stop from moving forward. And then you have the complexities of what happens to you when, if women, etc., they're aware of what happened to you and they weaponize that event, like what has happened to me. They weaponize that event, and so when you're in a shaming situation, that event is brought up upon you. How stupid you were, how idiotic you were, how dumb you were to fall into such a thing. You're not worth it because of that. That happens to you. My brothers, that's why I want to talk to you about these things and to give you the understanding that, yes, it is not a trite thing when these things happen to us. When you get those sayings like, when life hands you a lemon, make lemonade. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real circumstances which, again, can short circuit your walk along the MGTOW path if you let it. And my brothers, I would like to say to you that one of the benefits of the MGTOW philosophy is your growth from great naivety, great lack of wisdom, great ignorance, to men who have great wisdom, great understanding, great knowledge, to men that can critically think. And so that's one of the components that you have to understand what is going on with you in the present. And why you should not let an event that happened to you, such as what I described, what happened to me, don't let that be the magnet that pulls you back and possibly pulls you off the path that you're on right now. I would like to encourage you, my brothers. Again, you are in a community of men who have various types of experiences, some worse than yours, some better than yours. But my brothers, We are all on the same path, the path of freedom. We all have the same intent in our hearts to be free as men. So, getting back to again what happened to me. Of course, this has been used as a tool to whip me, to say that I need help in finding a women, etc. It has come up in all types of situations. But again, my brothers, when you look at the people who are using that upon you, you have to look at who they are versus who you are. Of course, you are a free man. You are a man who is walking along a pathway which is incomprehensible to any simp, any cuck, any white knight, any type of womanist. You're that man. Now, say for instance, if you have a woman who knows of your past, who shames you, but you look at her life. Is it a shambles of being a single mother, of destroying men, of not taking accountability for her actions? Is it the type of thing where she has divorce raped somebody just for the sake of doing that? Is it the type of thing where she has put somebody in jail when they were innocent? All those types of things, my brothers. My brothers, again, don't let what is in your past be used as a magnet to pull you back into the past when that event occurred, to pull you off of the MGTOW path. But my brothers, rather use it as a tool, if anything, to help other grieving men who have had these types of things to understand that that type of thing can happen to any man, and to not be ashamed that that happened to you, but to rather get up, dust yourself off, and continue along the pathway to freedom. My brothers, considering what I see around me, and considering the types of things that are going on in terms of the relationship issues with women, etc., I am glad that that happened to me, because it destroyed the ignorance, the naivety, not only in terms of what women are doing, but in terms of what Christians do. Because again, any Christian, now again, let me reiterate, these people all claim to be Christian, and they did these things. Any Christian who does these types of things, they are nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing. So again, it destroyed the naivety, the ignorance, both in terms of what women do to men, and as well what happens with Christians. It allowed me to see what a true Christian is versus a wolf or wolves in sheep's clothing. My brothers, you have to take it from that angle. It is an experience which, again, although it is painful, although it is shameful, although it is the type of thing of how did I let this happen to me, you must again take it from the angle that that happened in the past, number one, that number two, that it is something that I can look back upon and use it as a learning experience and as a tool to never let that happen to me again as a free man. That's what I'm talking about, my brothers. Yes, these situations happen to you. Yes, these things happen to you. And again, I would like to reiterate that because you are a MGTOW man, and because these types of things happen to you, the embracement of the MGTOW philosophy does not make it a type of coping situation. I must remind you, my brothers, that your embracement of the MGTOW philosophy becomes then your embracement of your freedom and your right to be free as men. That's what it's about, my brothers. My brothers, again, when you are shamed and told that your embracement of the MGTOW philosophy is cope, that you're destroying society, that you're not doing what you need to do in terms of taking care of that single mother, that you're not stepping up to the plate, that you're doing all the negative things that have been said about the MGTOW philosophy, the embracement of the philosophy. You have to remember, again, that it is not cope, it is not shying away from life, it is not pulling the bed covers over yourself and you're curling up in a fetal position trying to ignore life. The MGTOW philosophy is vastly different from that. It is, if you can put it this way, a revolution of your thinking. It is the discarding of simping, the thinking processes of a simp. It is the taking on of the critical thought processes of a free man. That's what it's about, my brothers. And so, therefore, again, when things are said to you about your past, like for instance, my sister commonly shames me about the types of jobs that I've had. And I remember that one particular job where I was selling furniture, she called it a two-bit job. And in the past, yes, that would sting me, but my brothers, again, no more. Because, my brothers, I look back on that job and it gave me a lot of experience in terms of learning how to purchase furniture, furnishings, doing all types of things. And so, my brothers, I can, when I need to, I can go into a store and I can purchase what I need and have knowledge of what I'm purchasing and get good deals, do whatever I need to do because I know how to sell, I know how to bargain, I know how to do all those things. Those are things that my sister doesn't know how to do. And so I take it as an experience that I can put under my belt that is useful to me. And again, that job was back then. But again, that job gave me experience, gave me understanding. And so in her view, it's two-bit, but in my view, it is experience that I have been able to use over and over through my life that has been beneficial to me, my brothers. That's what I'm talking about. So again, when you have these devastating events happen to you, and yes, even though mine is horrific, I know of men who have had even more horrible experiences. We all know of men, just recently, in the last couple of weeks, there have been several instances where these women, etc., have deleted their husbands, that type of thing. So I know that far worse has happened to men. And so, my brothers, again, don't let the shameful things of your past, particularly when it happens in a case like mine, don't let those things be a magnet to pull you back and to cause you to falter, to cause you to slip away from the MGTOW path. Because, my brothers, again, you are doing something that is incomprehensible. Just in the mere fact that you are seeking your freedom, that is incomprehensible, my brothers. And my brothers, again, take these experiences, use them in the proper context of what they should be. So, for instance, again, if you encounter a man who's struggling, you can have understanding of his situation because you've been through a similar situation. Use it as a tool to help that man, to do what you can to put him in a state where he can have hope. That's what I'm talking about. Use it in a positive manner. I am not talking about the lemon to lemonade. I'm talking about using those experiences as tools to help men to understand that they have a right to their dignity, to their freedom, to all types of things. So, for instance, I had a right, even though I was in great ignorance, in great naivety, I still had a right to my dignity as a fiance, my dignity as a Christian. That's what I'm talking about, my brothers. Nevertheless, I had a right And what was done to me was a stripping of those rights. Because I went into it with the intentions of being a good husband. And so therefore, my brothers, again, I had the right to expect nothing but the best for me, not some horrific situation. And so what I'm getting at is that, again, you will encounter men who have had similar situations to yours, or worse than, and they are sunken down into the black hole of that event. But yet you can use that event that happened in your life to give them hope, to give them the capability to begin to escape out of that gravitational well of that event. That's what I'm talking about, my brothers. And also to reiterate, that's why the MGTOW community itself is important to us all. Because again, we as men can help each other. And that's why, again, we must keep this community as pure and as clean as it can, because this community should be a place where men can have hope, peace, understanding, their dignity returned to them, and most of all, their freedom. But my brothers, again, understand that your past should not be a magnet which continually draws you back to that event, what happened to you. No matter how horrible it was, no matter how devastating it was, don't let it be a magnet which draws you back to a past which you cannot recover. What you can recover is your future. You can turn it around, my brothers. That's what I'm talking about. Don't let it be something again. And I'm speaking to myself, my brothers, because it does happen. You do think upon these things. And particularly when you're in conflict in certain situations, it does come up. But again, quash it down. Throw it out of your life and continue along the pathway that you have been on. My brothers, we can't do a back to the future. We can't do it. But what we can do is stay on a pathway which is, if you look at it, incomprehensible because of its wonder, because of its freeing nature. My brothers, again, look at what the MGTOW philosophy affords you. Look at what it does for you. Look at those things and consider those things. And stop considering something which was a major event in your life. And start considering the incomprehensible nature of your freedom, the profound nature of your freedom. Again, my brothers, the only thing that you can do is to move forward, and to move forward in your freedom and embrace what is freeing to you, what is a lifesaver to you. My brothers, that's the only thing that you can do at this point, is to continue along that pathway which takes you to freedom while you're walking to freedom, which the end goal is your freedom. Continue along the MGTOW path and don't look back at your past. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium Out and About. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.